Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It is Sunday night, and I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to our wonderful game tonight, but I'm not in charge. Pope is. So, Pope, take it away.
Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World Build on the internets. Here with an absolutely fantastic crew full of storytellers, getting ready to do some of that Mass Effect. Let's go around the horn, see how everyone's doing, as well as what they're most excited about because they leveled up last session. Um, so let's do that, and then we'll get into the thick of it. So first up, Jesus, how you doing, friend? And what are you excited about?
How am I doing? I'm doing pretty well, relaxing, enjoying life. I am currently not really doing much, but my Hanar alter ego is just having the most exciting time of their lives. I mean, yes, they had a chance to speak with higher power, well, not higher powers, more influential powers in on the world, and say they understood our value and gave us lots of money, which I enjoyed immensely. I also learned a lot during this mission about the interactions between those species that have different genders and their social norms and how they combine together to form. It's a thing. Apparently, they do. And I'm looking at all these new documentaries that I've been checking up, like Krogan Kalar Chronicles, the Turians and the Damned, uh, the Solarian and the Restless. I mean, apparently every civilization has their own form of soap opera. And you know what? This Hanar is here to learn.
I, I don't know what to say except that there must be some sort of David Attenborough for uh, this era of space, and I am intrigued to find out who's got his. Um, Someone who has entirely different priorities would be PB. How you doing, friend? And what are you looking forward to?
Hi, I'm Phoebe. Today I'm playing Estelle Leon, she, her pronouns, and I am excited to just, observe more of my crewmates. They're all eclectic beings. One of them has been blasting Batarian orchestra music, or opera music on the other side of the ship, which has been interesting, to say the least. Uh I can only hear clanging. And what I have to assume is speaking to Carl and Argos, because it's better than the alternative talking to herself, from Tazik, and the good old doctor, whomst I only see in common areas because I avoid a certain area of the ship like the plague.
Someone who has yet to experience a plague, um, but plague has a very interesting connotation with them and certain things that have already occurred. Um, so our favorite Solarian, Tazik, is played by Lady Luck. How are you doing? And what are you excited about?
Hi. Like we've had I'm doing well and Tazik is very excited to be beyond our misadventure with a suitor. So hopefully Kryn will move on into other areas of interest. I'm
Sure.
doing well. Yeah, I'm playing Tazik, who is a Solarian engineer and is also finally gonna hopefully catch up with Carl about that interesting language scene during our last misadventure.
Yeah, language is important. It's a means of communication. Someone who, again, like the majority of the crew, a little terse aside from Kryn would be our good doctor played by Prax. How are you doing? And what are you excited about?
I'm doing okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Pope, for running the shenaniganry and all the fun time. The doctor is. What is I looking forward to? Well, I would like to say that I am officially now here to make sure none of you die. And I am also looking forward to remembering the fact that I can actually double my speed anytime I want without dashing. With a floating 10 meter radius of healing nanites at all times.
Yeah, Drell go fast.
Drell go fast.
So, for all of you who may be just joining us, our very eclectic crew have been put together by some of the wealthy, powerful, and interested parties within this particular galaxy, in dealing with things that are going on while a certain specter is inconvenienced, as they are currently under detainment on Earth. They recently went to investigate a theft on Noveria. They met some very interesting individuals. There was a lot of shooting, and our favorite Krogan, Chris, the painting pirate, wishing you the safest of journey, friends, took a number of shotgun blasts really close up. He is alive, but he is recovering in the med bay aboard your vessel, who you still have yet to rename if you choose to. So right now, it's just flying around as the Fortune's failure. But you did get a significant payday from this job. There is a document called Noveria Salvage and Payment in your Roll20. The bottom total of credits is to be split evenly amongst y'all. But this is all the stuff that you were able to recover. There's a lot.
Okay, but I have one very important question.
Yes.
Is Etzley taking care of Buttercup?
Absolutely. We are bunking it up. I hauled their very heavy butt into my room, and we have been, Buttercup has been enjoying the luxuries of a very large Elastian-sized bed.
Buttercup has, is a little bit pensive because her favorite individual is definitely not well, and she knows it. But is taking advantage of the amenities of this new space, such as the very large bed that she can easily get on. And maybe, since you have that incredibly nice bathroom, has decided that the overly large tub is a place that she will luxuriate in. Yes, a Varen knows how to turn handles. This is not going to be a problem ever.
This tracks with our experience?
Not a problem. Absolutely none. But yeah, actually, you have a ton of weapon mods to sort through. You'll have some weapons that you may want to offload. Some armor pieces, few armor mods, some very interesting and somewhat explosive gear, which has all been consolidated into this one space. So my question for y'all is, I believe you're all leaving Noveria at top speed, considering Kazik wants to, I don't know, get away from possible relationship entanglements as quickly as possible.
That would be wise.
So where are you all headed? You have the galaxy is your oyster right now. You're flush with creds. You've got stuff to offload. Where do y'all want to go?
Now, what sort of place in the Mass Effect world could we go to sell things that we got in a less than ideal manner, perhaps, and perhaps purchase things with our vast quantities of money that we necessarily don't want other people to know about? This feels like there's a place in Mass Effect we could go.
There's a few places
Well,
you could
yep.
you could go.
Yeah.
Like the Citadel has some shadier sides to it, and you can definitely get access to a ton of things. There are a number of colonies with varying levels of legality that you can go to, but there is this station that has a reputation and a very nice bar.
And we know at this point that it no longer has any blue eclipse on that station whatsoever.
The eclipse on that station are gone. The Blue Suns and the Blood Pack are probably still there.
Yes, but the eclipse are definitely gone because somebody made a big old mess.
Well, the eclipse have had a series of setbacks within the past 10 months.
I'm just saying
they have a retention problem.
I'm just saying if they didn't mess with the wrong person and that person was having a bad day, it's their fault.
Fair. So are y'all headed to Omega? Is that what I'm hearing?
If everyone else agrees.
I mean,
I'm down to go to Omega.
Is there any timeline pressure to go anywhere else?
You at current, no.
Yeah, because we haven't picked up another mission yet. We just
No, you haven't confirmed any of the other two missions yet, and I think your patrons would understand that you just went through a hell of a firefight, and based just on what reporting held doc that you would do given Bars's significant injuries.
I'm going to say that we need mandatory rest and relaxation. I have to put the Krogan in medical stasis.
It was a bad time.
Even with the amazing Krogan physiology of how quick those tough bastards can get back on their feet, there is back on feet and then fighting fit. Those are two entirely different things. Like, he's probably going to be back on his feet especially with your skills doc and the bay you have, probably in 5 days. He'll be back on his feet. Fighting fit, you're looking at probably a month in total. Because considering the kind of ammo, the style of shotgun and its modifications, as well as the close proximity of those blasts in quick succession, there is a lot of muscular damage to, everything that holds the torso up. So that takes time. Especially a torso that has, it's so top heavy.
Why couldn't he even take damage to his legs? That would have healed so much quicker.
Yeah, no, again, you had two, compared to Tazik, these were two titans, duking it out at the edge of this bay, and the shorter one, heavy quotation marks, who was holding up but also getting his ass beat, decided to just in quick succession bag dump at point blank. And somehow Bars is still alive.
Bars did great.
Yeah, Bars did fantastic.
Doc, you did a lot, but also,
Yeah.
like, if it wasn't him,
Yeah, you would.
y'all would have been dead.
Yeah, I should quantify. Bars did great not dying. Thanks, Doc. We it was a team effort. But well done, Bars, staying alive.
Yeah, as I have visions from yesterday's game over on Valorant's channel, because we had a fight in Novaria. Yeah. Things at close proximity,
Hurt.
staying alive is hard. Especially when considering that there's like certain folks that have, certain things. We have learned that you guys chose better on the dump stat, as our captain chose their constitution as their dump stat. Don't do that, folks.
Spoiler alert, the doctor did.
Real.
We'll put a pin in that for future.
Why would you say that?
He already
Why?
knows. He already knows. There were backstory things that happened. He knows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are going to be able to quickly transit to Omega. You've got about 3 days transit between, because Omega up here, Novaria down here. You got a lot of galaxy to cover. So being able to transit, going faster than light in 3 days, crossing the gulf of this galaxy, really good. But again, you got 3 days to kill. So let's go around and find out what kind of trouble you all are all getting into during these 3 days.
Kryn, besides, staying most of the time in the bridge, making sure the ship is in tip-top shape, at least, navigation-wise, and making sure everything's working properly. I am secretly, not secretly, just, in my room and in the pilot seat and wherever I can, occasionally watch the odd show for historical references. But of course, I understand that Tazik doesn't want me messaging her every 5 minutes. So instead, I am no longer messenger with every single suggestion. I instead have it on a doc that I'm just adding to. And one day, when I'm sure Tazik will want to come to me for advice, I will send it to her. But beyond that, I am also like the doctor suggested, listening to opera. First, it was I've actually listened to both Turian and Batarian and comparing and contrasting the two to see how these different cultures have these musical notes. And of course, the best way to listen to music is as loud as possible. Thankfully, I don't have eardrums, so it doesn't bother me too much.
So there's reverberations in the bridge.
Oh yeah.
I need 2 things from Kryn in this
Okay.
moment. First, I need a perception check.
Sure. 1 second. Perception. That is a 16.
Okay, so you'd notice just a little bit that some of the letters on some of your updates, as well as the control console, are now in this very strange script. Like it's like 1 or 2 characters, and it's inconsistent.
Perhaps I should have Tazik look at that. There seems to be some strangeness with the programming.
Yes. And second, I just need you to roll me just a d20.
Just a straight D20?
Yeah.
That is a 10.
Okay, so within the 3 days of transit time, the notepad has 10 pages worth of notes.
I take This one takes great notes.
Very important things. So, Tazik, what are you up to?
Tazik is absolutely trying to clean up Argos from his unfortunate fall.
Also, he painted himself a disgusting color.
Well, yeah, like first he had to go through, like, we had to power wash him. This is Mass Effect Power Wash Simulator. So then once clean, was then like, okay, seems to be mostly superficial damage, but there was some extreme action.
So go ahead and give me an engineering test, please.
Okay.
22. Okay. You, like, physically, things look good, except that the circuitry that you have for, that you have cobbled together and scavenged, some of it is not acting within the parameters that you set. It's currently significantly overclocked. So go ahead and give me an electronics test.
Okay.
15. You are aware, but currently are incapable of doing anything about the following. Apparently, in your past, and in making Argos, you got your hands on some experimental military grade hardware from a number of different militaries. This makes sense. Surplus ends up all over the verse. However, sometimes some code can lie in waits for certain circumstances to just trigger. And it looks like a program, a sleeper program, has been activated. You are not entirely certain everything that it does. You just know that it is currently running.
Got it. Okay. We'll come back to that in a sec.
Okay.
Was there something else that you were gonna add to that?
Go ahead and give me a history check to see if you can recognize the symbols associated with this program. You have no idea which military or shadowy government agencies' symbols are associated with this program.
Okay. We do not have to resolve it in this moment, but assuming I started with Argos because he had the most damage.
Physical damage, yeah.
Yeah, like the most obvious, like, oh, I need to fix this. I would probably somehow in those 3 days also go to Edsley and be like, yo, there's some modifications I did and I can't quite read it. Any chance you can take a look? Since we did, when we first got on the ship, have conversations about mods and things.
So, Edsley, what would you like to do with this moment?
Let's see. Well, while Tazik was working on cleaning off Argos, now I will say, I am taking all my notes on my own personal off the grid stuff because I don't want any shadowy organization to take my notes and use them for their own profit, because some people here have a job, and so I have everything off the main system, so no one that's funding us finds funding in other ways due to me. So I am going through all the mods and I'm checking them out, seeing, just making sure that they're up to like stock um quality, and none of them have been injured or whatever, um before I start even doing anything with them. And that's, I'm like, I'm going through that categorization and looking at all of them being like real persnickety with it all. And um by the time Tazit comes around to ask me about her shadowy organization um symbols on her own mecha, um I have probably only just finished going through a fine-tooth comb on all of them to make sure they all work and are
Um,
all good.
go ahead and give me an engineering test, and because of you're doing specifically mods in the workbench you have advantage.
Okay, I got you. Engineering
23.
23.
Okay. Um, everything is at least up to minimum spec when it comes to the mods and weapons. There is one thing that is slightly off.
Mhm.
The poisoned alloys on the one sword, the one monoblade that you picked up.
Mhm.
They'll work as designed on most species. However, specifically against humans, this is hypertoxic. So the DC of the Constitution saving throw versus specifically human victims goes from a DC 13 to a DC 19.
That is hyper toxic. It's very toxic of them. And this has been like specially made for this or tampered with to do this. This is not
Yes,
stock.
this is not stock.
Um, cool. We're gonna put that one for the transition over to Prax before while I work with Tazik here. Uh Tazik will come to me with the symbol stuff. I'll be like, "Oh, okay. A little odd, you don't know where you got. You know what? I'm not going to ask questions." Um no.
Probably a
I'll
better
take the-
choice.
and I'll look at the make and mark of the stuff she is
Okay.
giving me
Go ahead and give me a history test.
and see if I recognize any of this. Oh, let me go back to normal.
5.
I've never seen this in my entire life. In fact, I'm not 100% sure it's of a known species. This is so hieroglyphic to me. Honestly, I'm surprised this isn't in a museum. This might be Prothean. I'm not. I've heard rumors that there's things before Protheans. It might be that. Like, that's how foreign this is.
Oh, okay. Cool. Good. I am happy to know this.
Yeah. One thing, during the traveling, when I noticed a weird thing with the lettering in the code, I would have sent a message to Tazik going like, just check this out whenever you have a chance.
Tazik, would you like to check out the character errors that are going on with the vessel?
Of course. Tessa could be like, yeah, sure, maybe I can figure this out.
Make an electronics test. 25.
Oh, wow.
You have an idea where this originates.
Does it look vaguely like the
Yeah.
language I saw that
Carl was using? Yeah.
Okay.
It's in your ship's systems.
This one wonders if he found anything.
Tessa could be like, Yeah, it's interesting. I can't read it, but I've seen these characters once before.
Oh,
And it was Carl using them. So apparently I need to move up my list of priorities on this trip, having a very serious conversation with Carl.
what? This what I and and Kryn just floats away. Just no.
Also, maybe contact the Citadel about those symbols. Again, I think it might be prior to Protheans.
And
And
Tazik's like,
big
you know
finds,
what? We
actually.
seem to have a lot of questions here. So maybe we should I'll start with Carl. Then we will maybe send something. What is there a specific action? Like if I want to take the like language or the program from Argos and send it to our benefactors to say like, hey, can you recognize where this came from?
You can send it to your benefactors, but keep in mind then your benefactors know about this.
Okay, but Argos is not the same as Carl. We're not telling them about Carl yet.
But Carl and Gargos have talked.
Oh crap, this is right.
You also each have yet to use your I know a guy.
Ooh, that's right. Okay.
I got like an 85 in my history class back on Earth. I know a thing or two about things.
Yep.
So if one of you wants to invent a specialist who may just happen to be on Omega, you can.
And none of us has used it. I'm pretty sure. Have I used it? No, I haven't yet. No one has.
No one's used their I know a guy yet.
Okay.
Well. Okay. I feel like Tazik would speak to Carl first one-on-one.
Okay.
Before calling a team meeting about
I'm on Space Amazon looking up intervention banners.
So I feel like we've like tabled the Argos thing for a second where it's like, okay, well I fixed most of everything. This one bit of like programming code that I'm not sure about. Etzli and I will maybe discuss that more later. So next on my list would have been I did tell Carl we would have a conversation later about the language I saw during the mission.
Okay. So by all means, I want to hear what you have to say to Carl.
Well, I would be like, Carl, it's time for a checkup. I'm gonna run a diagnostic on you. I took you into combat, which we normally don't do, and have it be like a very like casual, hey, I'm checking on you, like running the diagnostic and system scan while also being like, Carl, you need to talk about the language I saw. Like, have you been learning something without me?
Yeah, you have a relationship with Carl, so I'm not going to have you roll anything for this.
Okay.
Essentially, what your recon drone responds with is almost a little defensive. Following your commands and parameters to communicate. In learning to communicate with greater systems, had to improvise.
Okay, but that's great. I wanted you to learn. I just wanted you to keep me up to speed because what if, like, I couldn't read it and we need to be on the same page. Also, how are you feeling, like, running the scans and being like, does everything seem okay?
I have questions for later, but not right now. I need better vocabulary.
What is love?
And like Tazik's, like, to be clear here, Tazik's not trying to be accusatory. It's more of a like, I did I did give you this directive, and I'm super excited that you decided to run with it. Like, you didn't just copy a program off of, whatever the Mass Effect equivalent is of the internet.
Space GitHub.
Um, Again, there are the nice thing with the Mass Effect universe is that there is a common net that almost anyone who is a space traveling power has access to. But then every single culture that has computers also has their own nets. So it is layers upon layers of communication and interconnectedness and networking. It is glorious and a nightmare simultaneously.
Yeah. Listen, Carl, as long as you're being safe, like, stick to like the not like dark side of the internet. Also, I would ask, if possible, can you provide me like a key or a learning Rubicon for this language? Because I want to make sure that I can talk to you at the same time. Like, but I'm super stoked that have you been chatting with Argos too?
Have been chatting with multiple systems.
Cool. It's just like, okay, great. So you said you had questions for later. If you're not comfortable talking now, I understand.
Still evolving vocabulary.
That's right. You did say that. Well, anytime that you feel like you have expanded your vocabulary enough to chat, feel free. You don't have to wait until you're ready to ask all of your questions. If you have one ready, we can talk. I'm always available to you, Carl.
Yeah, getting her one of those renegade points. just knowing that. So what's the doc been up to?
So, working on making sure our Krogan is both comfortable and healing to the optimal levels. Having like a small timer set to occasionally just poke Kryn and be like, remember to turn. These are not set to your visual spectrum. Please occasionally stop watching various soap operas.
This one promises to stop eventually.
Why do you even try? You can't lie.
This one has tried many times to lie. This one finds it very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But this one promises, and Kryn floats away again.
Just restarts the timer. And mostly spending, occasionally just kind of like walking around and kind of trying to be social, but the doctor is not really good at social with other humanoid species. There are Drell and there are Hanar, and she understands those, and then there are these other beings. And occasionally attempts to, but doesn't work.
Well, Norbert will see the awkwardness and occasionally just give you recommendations for viewing.
No, thank you.
I will 100% so very casually I'll be like leaning against a wall. I totally haven't been waiting here a very long time in hopes of maybe seeing the doctor pass by. And when you do pass by, totally normal about it. As you pass by, and I'm like, oh hey Doc, nice seeing you on this side of the ship. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about something. I found something very interesting in the in one of the mods, and I was wondering if we could have a chat about it in the lounge area over there. Over there.
Oh, the lounge, delightful.
Certainly, of course. Also, the doctor doesn't take notes. There are no written notes on any platform that would go anywhere. The joys of an eidetic
Good.
memory.
And they'll be like, "All right, awesome. Do you want to drink before we start talking, or no? Or is that bad? Wait, no. Is that not a cool thing to say to Drell? Um,
No, it's okay. It's not offensive. I'm not getting intoxicated currently, although I have at certain points in the past done so.
okay,
How can I be
cool, cool.
How can I help you?
So I found, we got a lot of mods off of the people on Novaria, and I found this mod. It's a poisoned alloy mod. You might be familiar.
I'm very familiar with poisons.
Not concerning at all. It's
It's a
typically
biological development, evolution.
absolutely. Typically, poisons everyone equally. But this one in particular has been modded in such a way that it is extremely toxic to, in particular, humans.
Very intriguing.
And I was wondering if you'd heard of anything about this before, or if you'd
Well,
have any interest in it.
Let me see what it is, and then I might be able to tell you if I've heard of it before.
Go ahead and you can give me a medicine test.
Okay.
14. You are barely able to identify this. The alloy
Mm-hmm.
is of Batarian make.
Interesting.
It is a recent development after the Blitz. They found that a particular metal that seemingly only occurs out towards the edge of the Traverse is very good at killing humans. And they have started just recently refining it in greater detail and putting on the market for certain interested customers.
Intriguing. So, recently the Batarians have started looking for ways to aggressively deal with your species in a not pleasant manner.
Oh. Tell me something that's new.
Well, they found certain metallurgical alloys that are inherently toxic to humans, and therefore have started refining them and selling them. Also, it's very intriguing. I'm almost tempted to test it against my own. Do you mind if I do a comparison?
In what way, Doc?
Well, given the fact that there's, well, not on you, just the pure toxicity of through a mass spectrometer of the toxicity of my own poisons versus this.
So long as it's not on me, I'm fine with whatever you do. Mod's yours if you want to test it out.
Very, very good. Also, apparently, I have a question. I have noticed that I make you uncomfortable. Is that me or my profession?
No, I'm totally cool with you, Doc. You seem like a very cool individual. It's just I don't like hospitals. You must get that a lot. I just don't like hospitals. They
Frequently.
weird me out.
Hospitals are horrible places. No one actually gets well in a hospital. That's why I don't have one. I have a ship instead.
Potato. I don't like medicine stuff. You're cool. Being a doctor, healing people, that's great. I just don't want to be in that space, That's not my thing.
All right, then. So I must assume that the directives are if you are unconscious and require medical assistance, you do not wish to be taken to the medical facility.
You gotta do what you gotta do, Doc, but I'd rather be alive than dead. When I'm alive, I'd just rather not be in there.
So restore you to optimal health and then allow you to regain consciousness in your own environment?
If that would be the best option in your medical opinion, if you think I would be stable, then that's fine. If I have to be in the medical bay, I have to be there, but it's up to you, Doc. I trust your medical judgment.
All right, then. I will ensure that your health is taken care of, both your physical and mental, to the best of my ability. Also, no, that's fine. Everything else is copacetic. I'm just going to test these. And she's going to go back to the medical facility and go back to her space, which is like the small room behind the med bay that she's kind of adapted and started, and is just going to start pulling out all of the known toxins that are available in a medical facility. Oh, wait, and the ones that she secretes. For comparison's sake.
Again, because you're using the facility, not going to make you roll. This toxin, when it interacts with most other species, just is a not hyper aggressive, but aggressive necrotoxin.
Interesting.
However, when interacting with human pain receptors, so human nerves, this is an incredibly debilitating neurotoxin.
Does it also exhibit the same toxic abilities on humans, or does it transform into a neurotoxin?
No. It still has the same base necro, but it has on top of that a hyper aggressive neurotoxin.
So I have a question. Because the doctor's been around for a while and hanging out on various places and providing medical assistance to a variety of people of various scales. Has this been seen anywhere before other than the Batarians?
Not in any of the records that you have available.
Okay. And I'm going to run a model, assuming that this is not the same thing, but going to run a model using the ship's modeling software about comparing this toxin and the way it interacts with the human system to the reports about, people who get put on giant spikes and turn into weird zombie things.
Cool.
Because, neurotoxin and a necrotoxin? That sounds like something that might be similar.
Worth investigating.
And I will, after I get that information from Doc, the original information that it's toxic to humans and who makes it, I'm gonna send a message to who's it? Ulysses? He's the one working with Alliance or adjacently to the Alliance.
Okay.
I'm gonna send a message to him. That just says call me.
Okay. You don't get a call. you get a very short email. It is incredibly encrypted. You currently do not have the software to crack this.
But I'm going to a place with a lot of creds.
Yep.
That I could get this figured out or get the tech for it. All right. Hey, do future things have like, you know, on Discord how you can just click on a message and like react to it? Do like future emails have the ability to just like react to that email?
Some
like
do.
a thumbs up. I'm gonna send like an out of character emoji, or I'll send the clock emoji. That's not like the time's not at 12 yet, as in he'll know. I need time.
Okay. You all make it to Omega.
Question.
Yes.
Before Omega, can we have a brief team meeting?
Sure, if you want to call that team meeting. How are you calling that team meeting?
It would just be, I would calm everybody individually. So the doctor, Corinne, and Etsley, and just be like, hey, just need 5 minutes. I'm gonna give you all a quick update.
This one is fine.
And I'm just, you hear the telltale sound of like a something welding in the background. I'm just like, when, where?
As soon as you have a moment before we get to Omega. When you're on a break from the welding.
You're in your workshop, or?
No, let's meet in I guess in the lounge area.
Yay, the lounge is getting used.
Yep. Yep. You turn on me. If you message me, you hear before I start talking. You hear DC Office Turian. This one is fine with meeting you in the meeting area.
Great. I'm not gonna ask questions. Okay, thanks, Corinne. See you shortly.
So, y'all in the lounge. It's very nice.
We have what are the things that give us drinks and food where we're like, what? Why are these doing it?
Oh no, that's the kitchen. You are in the lounge. This is the place that has the claw machine, the dance floor, the now heavily labeled bottles of booze.
That's right.
Like the full bar. There's a little reading nook. There's like you can remove the blinds and actually observe space. It's really comfy couches.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
That can accommodate Bars's weight.
While Tazik's waiting for the others to show up, is like checking out all of the labels on the bottles of booze. Like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Is toxic to Krogans. Good to know. Should not be drank by Hanar.
I have a very important question for the doctor. What is your handwriting like?
For what? She doesn't write anything down.
Is it? But you had the. Did you label the?
Oh, I have a label maker for that shit. Are you kidding?
You label.
There's a label gun.
Of course, there's a label gun.
No, it's
I ignore that. Thank you. That's all I needed to know.
And it's in Galactic Common, and then the ones that are the most important, she's put like the various intergalactic like toxic, poison symbols on.
Skull and crossbones on like the highest proof items.
I feel like even just in case someone's not going to bother reading it when they're really drunk, there's little emojis with a happy face for each species that can drink it. So there's a happy Krogan, there's a happy Solarian right
Yeah,
underneath the
and-
writing.
There's the universal symbol for dead for certain species.
And the one that's labeled, no one else is allowed to drink this, only bars, and if you drink this, I am not helping you. That one, there's also a little pressure sensor with an alarm on it.
I am now establishing that it's the Elcor that make the label maker.
I'm here for it.
Yep.
This tracks.
Mhm.
So does everyone show up? I guess is the first
Yes.
question.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So once everybody's there, Tazik like, all right, let's all get comfortable or whatever the case may be. And it's just like, I want you all to know we might have to stage an intervention.
No,
I-
Riley
Carl.
I told you I am no longer watching as much space these shows. I just wanted to learn about this one, just wanted to learn about the cultures of other races, and I thought these dramas would help. This one does not need an intervention.
Crin.
This Fred and Tazik turns to Dr. Soul and is like, how do you feel about this response?
There's a reason why I have a timer set so that I can actually encourage them to stop doing what they're doing every 2 hours.
It's always during the best parts.
I haven't pulled your plug yet.
Fair.
We can hold that for later, but that is not the intervention I was talking about.
Oh,
I spoke with Carl. Fran had
drone?
noticed
mm-hmm.
some additional characters in, where did you find it, Corinne?
Actually, where did I find it again, Pope?
On the displays on the bridge.
Ah, right. They were on the displays on the bridge. Several characters I did not recognize, which was very concerning since we need to read them to, survive.
So I spoke with Carl, and Carl is still learning, trying to improve their vocabulary. But I am mildly concerned we might have to stage an intervention pending what their questions are once they have done so.
This one has many questions. Question number 1. Why do we need intervention for a machine you created? Question number 2. Why does it wanting to learn anything require you to mess with our systems? Question number 3. Everything else that's wrong with what you just said.
On that note, I'm going to roll the happy sad die.
Oh no.
Okay, that's noted.
Lovely.
Who-
Well, first,
Who is this drone talking to aside from you?
oh, it
Why
said
is
it's
there a language barrier all of a sudden?
this is new. There was not a language barrier before. But I did task Carl with improving their communication. So they've been chatting with different systems around the ship.
And that is what's
The
caused...
VI systems?
I probably, yes, has spoken to Norbert.
This one asks, it is learning, it is adapting, it is growing. Is it turning into full AI?
Well, technically its parameters don't allow that, but at the same time, I really don't want to stun its growth. I did task it to improve its communication.
I'm sure when they were creating the Geth, they thought the same exact thing.
You did help us on our mission with the turrets and stuff.
Didn't the turrets shoot for the head?
I mean, yeah, that was the second set of turrets. I was talking about the first set.
Okay.
Did it talk to the second set of turrets?
I mean, I sent it ahead because I wanted Carl to try and help stop the ship from taking off, but I am unclear what actually occurred. I did not make it
What do you
to
mean
the
you're
hangar.
Unclear. Check the history.
Oh, I didn't think to do that.
That's okay,
You-
I can give you the answer.
Hmm?
did I visually see Carl physically interact with the turrets at that point?
You saw Carl get close to the nearest one, and there was a upload download.
Yeah. Carl did engage with the nearest turret. There was an upload download at a certain point. Brief, intermittent, then the turrets began targeting the various remaining. Did your drone instruct the turrets to take headshots?
This one is not very.
Did not give Carl that. What? Please go ahead, Corinne.
This would first off, this one is not very particular with laws. Well, some laws was necessary for my previous employment, but going for headshots in many places for a VI to do was very looked down upon. Secondly, it spoke to the turrets without your permission.
Well, I told it to take action. What action it took was up to Carl.
You told it to take, and with a tentacle, action.
Yeah, exactly like that.
And so when you said action, it had free reign to make any decision it required. You did not give it an order, as any engineer would give to a machine they created.
Well, see, my earlier set of parameters were for helping the group and keeping us alive.
Did you give your machine free will?
I don't think so. That's not the parameters of the code I initially wrote.
Initially, but now, does it have free will? Okay. Anyone else?
I would like to look around this room and just clock all of the spaces that would have speakers or microphones listening in on this conversation.
Keep in mind, this entire ship is wired for Norbert to be able to interact with you at any given moment.
Well, Tazik, I think it's great that Carl is improving and learning. That seems like a wonderful idea, and I hope it keeps doing it.
Can I roll an intelligence to see if I noticed that? Because I
you can make an insight test with advantage because the human is stalking weird.
Yep, let's just test it out. Nat 20.
The human is talking weird and is directly pointing out that one of the systems that Carl most likely interacted with has full run of the ship.
This one was initially worried, but now this one realizes that perhaps there was not a problem after all. Perhaps is a new way for Carl to interact with the world around it, and perhaps it can learn, grow, and become its own, perhaps one could say, person. This one hopes for all the best. This one is going to their pilot to the bridge, where, of course, just in case everyone wants to speak, where, of course, I have full control and, other systems can't interfere. This one is leaving, floating away, and floats away.
I mean, Tazik did what Tazik wanted to do, which was be like, hey, I'm informing the rest of the crew, and we might need to stage an intervention. Mm-hmm. We now might need to stage 2 interventions because of Kryn, but that wasn't the original plan.
And Kryn comes back, yes, the bridge, where no one else, if one else could listen in, that'd be great, because I set it up so no one else can listen in. This one is just saying, and floats back away. Back and forth. Like, Kryn goes like just a little bit of Kryn going and just like looking, see if anyone's following.
And Tazik looks at the other two and like shifty eye, like, okay.
Thank you for that information, Tazik. I greatly appreciate it.
Kryn just floats away.
I can't wait to get to Omega. There's going to be some great things there for improving the ship. I'm so excited. Anyways, good luck with your improvements on your things. I'm going back to my things. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. And the doctor just kind of types out quickly on her Omni tool and sends as a text message to Etzli. Joss Tetzley. It's like, do you know how to remove the VI from the medical bay without launching an EMP that would possibly damage the medical beds that I currently have an unwell Krogan in? As she begins walking, it's like stops and pats Tazek on the shoulders, like, I'm glad your child is growing in the manner that you desire, and then continues moving back to the as she's typing, and then keeps going back to the med bay.
I love how no one is helping with the intervention, just walking away.
Nope, the intervention has not been called yet. Just
this was warning of the
Yes, yeah.
I'm letting you all know.
Yeah, but that's the message she sends Etzley.
I'm coming up with my response over right now.
Oh, it's all good.
And it's going to be, I'll figure it out, essentially.
Kryn, as you head back, actually, Kryn and Etzley in particular, because it's been established previously that Norbert has been programmed previously with being like a thorough database on psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Like top tips for stress relief for Kryn is on the bridge as you arrive.
This one was sure they prevented. Oh no, it can bypass that. Okay, thank you, Norbert. You.
Your response as like some of the characters for welcome are not right.
Okay.
Etzley, as you make it back to your place, there is a like a bunch of different guides to bluffing for multiple like card games that's just at your console and open.
Yeah, noted.
Oh, and Tazik, there's a bunch of parental tip books that are now like at your console, as well as for like troubled teens.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did parents of troubled teen? And Tazik's like, oh, this is great. Thank you so much. Starts reading them.
I need to know who is the Dr. Spock of the Solarian population, because that is... I need to know this.
That's going to take me some time, but I will work on that. I love that there's emojis are the responses. That will take them a little bit of time. But yes, you're on Omega now. And you seem to have a number of things you all want to do, as well as a queue of projects that you probably want to address before you do anything leaving Omega. I would like to ask, before we go to break, would any of you would like to cash in that I know a guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Tazik is going to cash in and I know a guy out of Omega.
What do you want this person to know?
I would assume that they would both be like a network and like cryptology. I don't even know if I would say cryptology, like programming and languages.
Okay, so an expert in ciphers and language. Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, you know a guy. they're not entirely unhinged. The, you, you know, a lovely woman, just, was forcibly kicked out of the Asari military. She doesn't hold a grudge. Who's on Omega and is a communications and security expert that you have consulted with on multiple occasions. Her name is Rala.
Okay.
Communications expert, you would say. Would you say she also specializes in understanding how to decrypt things, or has a technology for that?
Probably would.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to cash in their Noah guy? Omega's a big place.
Could you specify once again the parameters of Noah guy?
Pretty much, if you run into a situation where it would behoove you to have a contact, you can cash this in to create said contact and whatever specialty you specify. So if you want a fence, we can make a fence. If you want, a weapons expert or an archaeologist or what have you, this allows you access to I have a need to solve this particular problem and have these specific skills.
All right. Gotcha.
It's just, I get to all of a sudden go to my little side chart here and go, what's the personality?
Gotcha.
Actually, since we're going to Omega, I'm going to say with my previous job dealing with the Drell teams, like, yes, we did one could say more morally righteous jobs than most against corporations or other groups that were doing bad things. But even though we were doing a good thing, we would still, if we perhaps attacked the base and killed everyone there, we would take all the stuff and sell it because, doing righteous things is not cheap. So I knew a guy at Omega to buy a fence to sell all that stuff too.
Okay, you're cashing in for a fence.
For a fence to sell a guy we can go to, or gal, or them, who we can sell our stuff to, wherever it comes from.
You have a Krogan fence on Omega.
Krogan fence.
Yes. Barsoom.
Barsoom.
He is old, crotchety. For a Krogan, has a cybernetic eye. He is exceptionally old. He survived the Rachni Wars.
Oh, that is old.
He has somehow kept kicking. It is rumored that he is almost at 50% cybernetics.
Okay.
And this is his retirement. He sees all of Omega as his retirement home.
For a Krogan, that makes perfect sense.
I do love this for him.
And with that, folks, we are going to take our break. So go get refreshed, stretch, and when we return, we're going to have some escapades on Omega. Take care, everybody.
We'll see you in a bit, everybody.
Back.
In anticipation of the release of the new action-adventure Fight Hard 3, Night of the Genophage, we interviewed Arnbold Gitek about his role in the film. Arnbold, as you reprise your role as Gargal Targar, what happens in this latest entry in the Fight Hard franchise?
I kill people.
How does this differ from the previous two Fight Hard installments?
I kill even more people.
Tell us about the rest of this legendary star-studded cast of action heroes.
They help me kill even more people.
Press releases say that the story is about a legendary, ill-fated action to try to prevent the Genophage from happening. Will this therefore be the end of the Fight Heart series?
I can't say. It will depend on what the fans want. In order to find out, you'll need to get to the cinema.
Get your exclusive Premium Krogan Edition before anyone at the Citadel at Ratch's Wares, your exclusive site for all things Krogan in the galaxy.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store outside the Citadel.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Take it away.
Well, you have now arrived on Omega. Feel free to gear yourself however you want as you enter to getting ready to make your first steps onto the station, as interior pressure is equalizing with exterior atmosphere. And you make your first steps onto the station. You manage through your own personal histories and maybe one or two people who see the vessel and know what's up to get parking in a place that isn't necessarily gang controlled. And yeah, is anyone making an immediate beeline anywhere, or are you taking in the sights, sounds, and smells of the station?
Okay. So, quick question. Did you guys have a chance to look over the gear? Is there anything you want to keep, or do we want to sell the stuff?
I definitely want to keep one of the pistols. I can't remember which one at the moment, but it's definitely an upgrade from mine.
Okay.
I think we should keep all of the stuff under the mods and gear. Like, we definitely want thermal clips and like grenades.
Yes, yeah.
Also a missile launcher.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The thing I suggest offloading would be the Avengers, because almost all of you have something better.
Okay.
And then the 8 suits of Liberator armor you can definitely offload.
Okay.
If anyone wants the custom heavy pieces, you can like debate that later and offload them later, because those are harder to come by. The Liberator armor and the Avengers are more common pieces.
Yeah. Okay, then maybe not sell that before we talk to our friendly neighborhood Krogan to see if they want it. So maybe, so maybe just have a talk with someone with my fence to sell the stuff we do, and then maybe later down the line, talk amongst ourselves about what we're selling and figure out the exact pricing later on. But like, I still want to talk to my fence about like selling this shit.
Yeah, because I figure we're gonna keep the heavy weapon. We're gonna keep the missile launcher and the heavy weapon charges.
Oh,
because those are hard to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna sell what we obviously want to keep sell, like the 8 pieces of armor and all the other minor stuff.
Yeah, like the Avengers and the Shurikens.
Yes. Yeah. I want to sell that stuff. So I'm gonna go to the fence to sell that stuff.
I do not think that Tazak would necessarily bolt off. It would just be like, I'm gonna go talk to somebody about these language concerns.
Please do. Please do. Oh, by the way, we're also out of the ship, correct? Yes. Great.
Yes.
This one is.
Is Carl right here? Do you have?
No,
Carl
I did not bring
Argus
Carl
with
for
it?
this.
You did not bring Carl?
Okay.
Okay. Then now that we're free, this one can honestly say this one is freaking the hell out. This one is very worried. This one, you have a BI learning languages and learning things and may kill us one day because it now knows how to headshots work. This one is scared. And this one wants you to fix this as soon as possible. I am going to go to my fence to sell these items, but I want you to have a solution. Bye. Goes away.
and Tazak like had started pulling a book out of their bag and then was like, okay. I'm reading parenting books.
This one was gonna pretend they did not hear that.
I have no comment. So the Uthuru is probably like has a bag, like a just shoulder bag that's, like one of those World War I, World War II med kit, like very square.
Yeah.
Thermal, designed to also be like a temperature regulator kind of things. And she's got like 10 or 12 vials in there, and she's gonna just find because she knows that Bricks is either can be found on Omega, or one of his pickup guys can be, and she just is gonna do a small Simple
Uh,
sale.
what Bricks is normally on the Citadel, but you can find one
Yeah,
of his
like-
guys here. Yeah.
One of his guys,
No
yeah,
problem.
probably. To just drop
Uh,
off, and then we'll go to, just see what she can find.
Oh, it's easy in order to get to one of Brix's guys, who is a distributor of many a fine brews. It's Starshot is the name of the distributor. Their offices are right next to the Black Hole, which is Omega's premier bookseller and seller of pornography.
Look, I would like to point out there's an interesting factoid that you can find out about apparently Drell in this universe, in the Mass Effect universe. And that is that the single highest grossing, what is it? The porn mag that's you can find
Fornax.
Fornax.
Yeah.
The highest grossing edition of Fornax is the one about Drell. That's actually canon.
Well,
I love this universe so much.
Things I didn't expect to learn tonight.
yeah, but
Things
no,
I didn't. I just random information.
no. The Black Hole is the premier bookseller, book trader, and pornography seller and trader on Omega. It is a very large. Think of the old FYEs,
Yes.
but make it bigger.
Yes.
Okay, but does the kind doctor let the rest of us know that there is a bookstore?
Yes, and she would even ask if like I'm headed towards a small distributor that I deal with. Do you wish anything? There's also next door to the bookstore. Is there anything you would like?
Message from Tazik: any teenage parenting books you can get.
All right.
This one asks for any biographies or from many of the artists of various soap operas. Thank you.
There's just a sigh.
Wait, and then Tazik sends a follow-up, and also anything on like additional ciphers and languages.
Understood.
If you find anything about flowers, I'll take those.
Flora, plant life, or flowers,
Yeah.
consumables.
No, like aesthetic flower stuff.
Understood.
Delightful. Prax, roll me a D100, please.
Yay! Fun. 82.
Oh.
Not fun.
Oh no, it's fun for me.
I know.
Okay.
I just know some of the things that you acquired in your time there, and that you may have not done a thorough accounting of the contents of said books. And neither did the
I
distributor.
I have a small problem when it comes to books.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
In real life or in game?
no, my problem in real life is not a problem. It's a joy and a pleasure. But in game, the doctor actually does have a small disadvantage when it comes to printed materials.
Mm-hmm.
That checks out.
So
about
Yeah,
right.
due
It's
to
about
wavelength perception.
yeah, that's a problem.
So that there, you come back. I will say this: they're having a massive sale when you arrive. They give you a pallet to use to offload everything that you purchased.
It's easier to transport that way, and I don't have to carry it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just imagining that like we're all gonna get back and be excited for like books of the things we asked for, and then open them, and they're gonna be like the porn mag instead.
you get all sorts of things. We will detail that when you're back on the ship.
Mhm.
Good to know.
Fantastic.
Yes. So she's selling that small case of like 12.
Oh,
And then just your
but
patches.
considering what's in those vials, yeah, you even after your shopping spree,
Yeah.
you've got 20K in creds,
Oh, thank you.
and that's after the shopping spree.
It's like, look. She acknowledges that she goes on shopping sprees after she makes those sales, but
yeah. So Kryn,
Yes.
you head to Armed to the Teeth, which is your fence for military grade gear. The sign is in the jaws of the skeleton of some incredibly large beast. And yeah, nope. Barsoom is there. Think of this place as like military surplus store meets Ace Hardware.
Yeah, Kryn just floats through the front door. Kryn floats to the front door and doesn't just go in. They of course presses the button because they know it's good to be polite with Arsoom.
Yeah.
Bing bong.
Hello.
Arsoom, it has been a long time. It is one of your favorite customers, Kryn.
Oh, Kryn, certainly. You get buzzed in. Come on in.
Yep. I float in with my pack behind me.
Yeah, so what are you trying to offload?
Offload is such a impolite term. I'm trying to sell you these items I've acquired through, of course, legitimate means. I've killed so many people for these items. Anyway, here. And I just dumb stuff. So, Arsoom, how have things been? I see I'm looking around. Things have been well. You are barely having any items as far. Have you been selling well?
We've offloaded a bunch. Some folks think that war is going to happen, so
War? Why?
yeah.
Why do people think war is upon us?
Considering that an entire system of Batarians just went.
Oh yeah, that would probably be a very, very good reason. Wow. I mean, the humans and the Batarians have issues, but having one of them blow up an entire system—that is wow. Just
Yeah.
wow.
So no, there's people have been buying pretty much any surplus I get in. It's gone in 2 days.
Well, then, have I got a deal for you? More surplus for you to sell. These items I have acquired through, of course, legitimate means, and I want to sell it to you, my good friend.
Yeah, the armor's actually intact. I'm impressed.
Yes, they were very efficiently removed.
Well, I usually upcharge on helmets, but hard to find them these days. But the suits are all intact, barely even worn. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Good camo power.
Mm-hmm.
The Avengers. Yeah, no, they're going like hotcakes because
Really, even Avengers.
Yeah, the ergonomics. Anything for like you want to throw together a quick, merc company or trying to sign up. This thing is almost idiot proof.
That is true, but as I've very much learned, idiots find a way.
Fair enough. For the lot of Avengers, I'll give you 37,500 credits.
37,500 credits. I thought we've known each other much longer than that. I would think maybe 40 at the very least.
How about this?
Hmm?
I'll make it 40, but you need to purchase one of the things I've got back.
What do you have back? I need to look first before I say yes or no.
Stuff that folks are not picking up.
That makes it less desirous, but I'll take a look nonetheless.
Like, again, these are more specialty items that, whilst The tech itself is desirable. It's not user friendly.
Not user friendly. Is user not user friendly as it will blow up if I try to use it, or you have to have a very focused mind in order to use it?
You have to be fit to use it.
Fit? Like Krogan fit?
Not quite, but that would help.
What sort of item is it? One is curious.
I've got a couple of things. I've got an M300 Claymore that I cannot, for the life of me, offload. Because, well, unless you know what you're doing and you are fit to use, it'll just like clearly separate, if not shatter, your shoulder.
Interesting. What else?
I've got a couple of I've got a few of more modified weapons. These things are hard modded, not actually soft modded. So they're kind of a pain in the ass, considering that whoever did mod them cut the clip capacity down, but managed to make the thing hit like a mule.
Interesting. What sort of weapon? Shotgun, rifle?
SMG.
This one is intrigued.
Yeah, somebody took a blood pack Punisher and heavily modded the bastard.
How many of them do you have?
I only got 2 of those, but yeah, they'll put a hole, a significant one if you hold the trigger down. But I can't even handle the climb on the damn thing.
Even you can't handle it?
No, not even with the cyber hand.
I feel like for someone in my crew, that would just be a challenge. How much for the lot?
That would be if you want both of those and the Claymore. How about this? You give me everything you've got, and we'll do just a straight trade.
Interesting. Out of character. So this Claymore, basically, like, is it multiple shot or is it like one shot? Or
the M300 Claymore is a notorious weapon. It is single shot. It has not that great a range, but will do 3d8 piercing without modification.
Interesting.
It requires a strength of 15 in just order to wield the bastard.
And the other guns?
The hard modded blood pack Punisher. Hip fire, burst fire, recoil. However, it loses the +1 to hit targets within normal range. It actually has a -1 to hit targets, period.
Okay.
However, its damage goes from 3d4 to 3d8.
I see.
Also, it only has a clip size of 5 as opposed to 6.
Question for the other party members, because I'm going to assume my character knows what weapons you carry. Do any of you guys use SMGs?
Chris does. Chris carries heavy weapons and shotguns.
Tazik does have proficiency to use SMGs.
Oh, I guess I can. I do have proficiency also.
You know what? Let's consider this. Worst case is a present for our favorite Krogan, and since the Krogan basically beat a man to death with his head, I think it's good to give him a gift every once in a while. So, this one thinks that is a good deal.
All right. So yeah, he'll take all that and happily give you the shoulder murderer and
the shoulder murderer
and the two mules, because they're not punishers anymore. Like, these things are like, the muzzle climb is insane, but also the hole that they punch in something is far greater than any like SMG normally would.
As always, Arsum, thank you for your business, and I'm sure I'll be back after my next mission to offload other things I, of course, brought legitimately. Oh. Also,
Well,
this one wonders, have been things... you've been selling very well. I'm very happy for you, but this one worries. If a full-on war comes, like, will you be safe here?
Oh, yeah, no, like, Omega, unless somebody is incredibly stupid or suicidal between Queen Bitch herself and the locals, I'm absolutely safe.
Then this one is happy for you. I am, sadly, going to a rather unsafe situation. And unlike you, I'm not a Krogan. My flesh, as you can see, is very, well, bullet spongy.
Yeah, but you've lived so far.
True enough. Good day. And
Take care.
Kryn floats out.
All right. Tazik, you have a friend.
You have a friend.
And I would like to tag along if you mention where you're going.
Etzli would have, or I'm sorry, Tazik would have been upfront with Etzli if you'd been like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Be like, "Oh, I got a friend who's an expert in ciphers and languages, and I've consulted with them before, so we're just gonna check in."
I'd be like, "Oh, can I tag along? I might have some questions that they might have answers to."
Sure. I can't guarantee her rates, but I know her at least.
So yeah, you head further north, dome side, as they would say locally, on Omega, to a small apartment. There is a buzzer, as Rala's a little on the paranoid side.
I mean, valid, especially in Omega. So yeah, Tazik would just walk up and like press the buzzer.
How can I help you?
I guess I'm checking in.
Tazik, what conundrum have you brought me this time?
So I've got a couple for you, and they're gonna be good.
I hope you brought creds, as she buzzes you in.
Like, see, she knows me. Swings the door open and stumbles through.
Who the fuck is the human?
Oh yeah, I got a new crew. We're doing some jobs. She's just tagging along. Don't worry about it. Has saved my life at least once.
All right. So what's this problems you've got?
And Tazik is gonna send the equivalent of a screenshot of the characters that Kryn found on the bridge over and be like, so these showed up on our ship.
Strange.
And you remember Carl, right? Because I asked I got you to help me write some of the basic framework for his coding and programming languages.
Yeah.
Carl is growing up and has started consulting and chatting with a few other systems that Carl did not have access to before. And yeah, it seems to be expanding outside the parameters of the programming that we...
I warned you that you needed to be incredibly confined when it came to requests of an advanced VI.
I I guess I did make some very open-ended questions and requests of Carl. You are correct.
Oh, so you're telling me these symbols come from Carl?
Well, Carl and a couple of other VIs that Carl has spoken to.
Oh no.
Carl did tell me that there would be questions once they'd expanded their vocabulary.
So you're telling me he's becoming an AI?
I don't think he's quite there yet, but I thought when we put into our programming, the parameters on the coding would have limited this.
Code, if left to its own devices, either degrades or improves. That is the nature of code. Just because the humans rely on entropy doesn't mean that all systems do.
I have started reading parenting books for teenagers because I do feel like it's like reaching that preteen, troubled teen stage. So
You want to keep the
I'm preparing because I'm not sure how any intervention is gonna go.
Ask a Quarian how intervention goes. I'm certain they will tell you a wonderful story.
In the interim, 2 questions. 1, do you believe that you can translate any of these characters?
You're looking at a synthetic to synthetic conversation. It will take me months, most likely, to be able to decipher what each of these hieroglyphs means. It could
Okay.
be a letter, or it could actually be like a full pictographic language.
Okay, we can table that one then. Second, is there, based on the original framework we gave our coding to Carl, is there
Mhm.
anything that we could do as a just generate an instant walled garden for it? Or do I need to improve my parenting skills? Because I'm really not. I'm just not a great parent. I'm trying my best. I want him to grow, but at the same time, I've never had to deal with anything younger than an adult.
Partitioning is difficult if its internal architecture is already restructuring at an accelerated rate. If it's slow growing, then you may be able to partition it off. But if you get in there and you see a bunch of garbled code and more strange symbols, it will try and find its way past the partition. As good of a firewall as you put up, like, it will seek out the cracks and find them. And if it interacts with any other system, especially one that has the same base language, it too will work in tandem to try and break through the firewall. You had
So-
talked to multiple systems.
Yes.
What systems?
Well, Argos, of course, which you also helped with.
Okay, well, Argos has we made certain that there was a lot more security with Argos, considering we didn't know where all the bits came from. So that is much more reinforced. That's less of an issue. What other systems?
Also, Lacus class frigate. And maybe some like turrets, but just a couple.
I'm guessing the frigate happened first.
Yes. That's also where the language screenshot I showed you came from.
So you had your recon drone interact outside of very defined parameters with a ship grade VI. And not just a small ship, a frigate, a war machine.
They seem to be getting along. Norbert is doing great. What are the chances that they would have separation anxiety?
I I am not an AI psychologist. I am a specialist in language and in ciphers and occasionally biotics, but I I I do not know the psychology of these things.
Okay, how about you think on this? Don't need to answer right now. Etsley had one. Etsley, did you have anything that, or were you just coming along to see how this conversation?
I had some questions. I've heard that you were a language expert. And I was
Yes,
wondering if you also specialize in encryptions.
yes. It a lot of my the majority of my clients have me come up with ciphers to use as encryption.
I received a very heavily encrypted message a few days ago that I need decrypted and a possible way to further decrypt any messages from this individual.
Uh, Let me. You do you have the message in a partitioned document?
Yes.
Okay, I can take a look at that. Let me take a look at it real quick, and then I can tell you like how long it's going to take me, charges, etc.
Um, and I will hand it over to them.
So give me a sec here. She walks off for a little bit, um, heads to a coffee table, brings up a um, keyboard, throws the program up, takes a look at it. It's an alliance-based architecture, but it's gone through multiple hands. This is whoever is trying to keep this thing encrypted is doing their work and doing about it the right way, because it looks like this is and cracking open the like some of these. Yeah, this is elaborate. Usually the alliance doesn't go to this level. Interesting. uh because of how much time we'll have to put into this is about 2,000 creds, but give me a week with it and I can probably at least get you the base decryption software to make it so that you can get it to whatever form is the base encryption. And then there's most likely, by just again, I'm just taking a guess, but it looks like it's an encrypted cipher. Like it has layered encryption, and then there's a cipher that goes along with that. This is really elaborate. Where'd you get this?
Contact. Um,
Hmm.
Human contact. Is there, now I understand things take time. Um, is there any way to get this timetable a little tighter, or is this a hard
If
over a
you
week to even get the beginning?
if you want it expedited, I guess I could reach out to some friends of mine. We can all take our own collective crack at this. Um, you're looking at about, in that case, 12,000, but might be able to get to them within like 3 days.
Okay, sounds reasonable to me.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll reach out and see, get to work on this. Um, Tazig, you want me to take time with your Carl's creation?
Would it help to bring Carl by?
I do not want that recon drone anywhere near the floor I live on.
I will send you the latest that I pulled from the last round of scans and diagnostics that I ran.
You probably also need to partition your ship's VI as best as possible so it is less likely to directly interface with any system that it's using, even for comms. Because if it's working on the same architecture, it is working more elaborately than like Carl is going through a process, but your ship's VI is probably 15 steps ahead.
Okay, I'll get working on that. Do you have any like easy thing like Tazik sitting here going like how much time dear crew, how much time do you think we're gonna spend on Omega?
This one had only planned to talk to his fence. I'm not sure about everybody else.
I can find things to do on Omega if we need to stay here a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can do stuff if we need to.
Fair enough.
It's a big place. Many
Yep.
things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Uthuru would send a message to Kryn asking, and because she knows where Kryn is going, asking Kryn to pick up a counterweight mod for her,
Done.
and she'll send the money.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll say I also grab a counterweight mod from Arsum before I head out.
Yeah, he manages to like have a good number of those because not many people want to get into melee.
Which is strange. I mean, people are weird. That's all I gotta say.
No, people like he will even tell you as soon as he gets in a Carnifex or a Phalanx, those pistols are gone as soon as he puts them out. Like the demand for assault rifles and pistols is through the roof right now. But any actually like non-omni melee weaponry, unless it's a Vorcha or a Krogan Merc, like no one picks those up.
Okay. So yeah, so I then easy grab for I'm assuming a cheaper price.
Yeah, because it's you and he knows that you'll more than likely be back. You let me look at the normal price for a mod. That particular mod, because he's likely to give you a discount because you guys go back. So counterweight. Yeah, he'll sell to you for 3K. You save
3K?
2,000.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, and just so everyone knows, in case you want to buy something, I split the credits we currently have. So each one of us should get 51,129 credits. And that's before I sell all the stuff. Well, actually, I sold it 1 for 1, so I didn't get any credits for it, but I got awesome stuff instead.
Yeah, you got some really dangerous stuff.
Yeah, true enough.
The doctor would leave those credits in the like ship pool for the moment for purchases if she needs anything for purchases for the ship.
Okay.
But we'll spend we'll say don't and when Kryn gives her the price, it's like don't forget to leave a tip. And so she'll leave she'll send 4K over just to be like
send it over 4K because you know he's one of the best fences I've ever known. It's what I say to his face. It's not really true, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He will gladly keep the tip and as appreciation, also because he's having a rough go of it getting rid of them. Just because folks have a tendency to not use these properly. He'll give you a Mark One arc grenade for free.
Oh, nice. Now that's service.
Because that going off near an ally, all of a sudden that ally is going to more than likely be dead sooner than later.
Mark One arc grenade. Got it.
Now, this is more the ST reminding player. Do you want your contact to look at the symbols associated with the things that you found in Argos?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yes. Also Argos. I got distracted by Kryn giving me the other thing, so would also be like, oh yeah, and by the way, here were some other things that were in Argos. So like, I'm not too sure the Argos is very well partitioned, but this could also be from one of the mods.
It's more than likely from one of the mods, but now I'm also reminded of where I heard the name Norbert before.
You know who Norbert is?
I know who made Norbert. This is Cerberus Tech.
What?
Deep black ops, human supremacists.
Etsley, Tazik is a Solarian, so Tazik's like, Etsley, what can you tell me?
You really don't know anything about Cerberus. You and your squad have been on the opposite end of the spectrum from what they've been dealing with. So for all that Etsley knows, they're a ghost in the system.
What?
I've heard the name whispered back in the day, but that was over 10 years ago. I couldn't tell you what they're up to nowadays.
Well, they're up to a lot of things. They have pulled a lot of strings with multiple governments and a lot of mercenary companies within the past 2 years. No, Norbert's one of their projects. One amongst 12 for frigate and larger grade ship systems.
First, as an aside, Tazik would look at Etsley and be like, is this what humans call ghost stories?
I mean, to some people, I guess. I heard whispers of them back in the day. Mission here, mission there, but I honestly didn't think they were real, so I guess that's technically kind of like a ghost story.
Oh, they're quite real, and they have very deep pockets.
All right. Well, Rala, any chance you can get us either anything you know about Norbert, or if you have contact with the creator?
No, I do not. I keep my toes out of that nonsense. But if you are serious in getting into the bottom of this, you can go to Afterlife. See if Ariel will give you the time of day.
All right, sends a brief note to everyone. Surprise! Something called Cerberus. Norbert, we have a lead.
Would I have heard of, or Kryn have heard of Cerberus?
Kryn,
More
you're
than
muted.
likely, Kryn, I will go ahead and roll me a D100. Four. Kryn! Jesus, you probably want to unmute because I'm going to just dump a load of stuff on you.
Sorry about that. 4. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, yeah, D100 got a 4. and we're using Cthulhu rules. So considering your station and whatnot previously within the Hanar government, you had access to Hanar intelligence. Cerberus, human supremacist, Black Ops organization deeply embedded within Alliance military and Alliance companies. Aggressive, amoral, but are deeply interested in bleeding edge technologies, synthetic, organic, whatever. Anything to give those that are aligned to them a leg up. And if like anything aboard your vessel is Cerberus tech, yay, it's cutting edge. Ooh, there is probably some deep partitioned code in everything that allows it to, should it have the right parameters, to automatically just activate.
This one has some concerns. Cerberus is, as some of you may know, a very heavily human-centered organization that with its main focus on having the best technology around, whether it's stuff they've developed or stuff they have taken from other governments and other organizations or other corporations. And if it's true that our ship was developed, or at least our AI, or sorry, VI was developed by Norbit, by Cerberus, that is an issue because it most likely has hidden programming that will affect us, especially the non-humans in the group. Not saying anything against Etzley, but I don't want to be in a ship full of people created by people that don't like us.
I feel like our VIs and Caro going off the rails now might be an almost okay thing then.
It's, you know what? This one wants to argue with you, but this one can't because the previous VI was full of racists. So now I guess it's a good
thing. Okay, would so to confirm, Kryn would have sent this information back to the rest of us.
Oh yeah, I would have sent everything to everybody.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Tazek would read it and be like, okay, Route, do you have, like, give me that spy thriller, some type of code or something that will just confirm for us what system, that ideally, like, run a diagnostic and look for any flags in the system that would be consistent with Cerberus for us to understand what all within our ship is potentially compromised. Is that something?
With that 4-row, would I know like some sort of tags I can give to Tazek to like say like, hey, Cerberus, we hate you.
The things that you would particularly know, aside from the general boilerplate stuff, more because this is more on because of Hanar interests. You don't know so much on the tech, like the synthetic side. You have a vast understanding, like, and this is what the Hanar intelligence community was most concerned about, is with them trying to revolutionize biotics for humans. You understand the bio labs that Cerberus had or has, like you know of rumored black sites and some of their human trials. Like, that's the sort of stuff that Kryn knows. Like, the stuff that, you know, gives you goosebumps if you could have those.
Okay. This one knows nothing about perhaps hints in the system. All this one knows is what's specified to biotics, and I send them what info I have about the horrible things they do for, I say with quotation marks, the good of humanity, of perhaps exploding Mass Effect fields around colonies to try to produce biotics, even though it might kill a couple of people. But hey, we'll get some biotics out of it, so it's morally right.
Question
Yeah.
mark?
Question
Yeah,
mark.
like Kryn sends you a number of documents that it still has sections that are redacted,
Mm-hmm.
but you can also tell that there are some places that have been unredacted that somehow your pilot has access to.
I know something.
And yeah, it's painting a particularly nasty picture
Mm-hmm.
on like having things that would typically, kill the parents but expose the fetus and allow them to, use that eventually birthed child to take a leap forward in human biotics, as well as, trying to splice the human genetic code with other species and other traits, as well as trying to use xenoflora and fauna as bioweapons.
This one is uncomfortable. Who we're working with now? This one is sad.
All right. We're still at Rala's place right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Remind me, everyone, we each have various like coding knowledge, but are any of us specifically like technical language experts?
No.
You would be the closest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only language expertise I have is biologic, not mechanical.
Okay. Then just be like, okay, Raleigh, here's what I'm gonna do. I will send you, or we'll like do it right now because I should have it on my Omni tool. Send the diagnostics and scans I'd run on Carl, and just like take a look. You don't need to write anything. I'm not expecting you to like solve any code or anything. Just tell me your thoughts once you've had a chance to look through it. For Argos, I don't even know what to do with that like programming subroutine that started. That I pulled on. Like you said you think it's from the mod, right?
It's most likely from one of the components that's in Argos. So
Okay.
if you there's a chance that if you pull the component, that'll be it, but it may have its coding may have infiltrated other systems.
Okay. All right, got it. So in the short term, Tazlik's gonna be like complete rebuild of Argos. Got it. And then finally, do you have anything that would take a look at subroutines within our system for any since Kryn doesn't have any that would be technological flags of Cerberus. Anything that would help us either find subroutines or any hidden data packets or something.
You are looking for a significant programmer. That's not my area of expertise. I can lead you to one. He's probably going to not ask you for credits. He's going to ask you for information.
Where?
Is
he here on Omega?
Yeah. Volus goes by the handle Hank of all things. Very paranoid about anyone getting his actual name. But Hank's good at what he does. It's just he is keenly interested in secrets.
Okay. Then thank you for that.
You can find him closer to Afterlife. Aria likes to keep him close.
Okay, got it. What do I owe you for today? Besides not ever bringing Carl here ever again.
That is on my receipt. Okay, that is on your receipt. No Carl. But for the translation and the introduction to Hank, because unless you have an invite, he'll just shoot you. Looking at 5,000 creds in total.
All right. Rala's helping me out. Like, I've clearly brought some really questionable things along this time. So I'm just going to pay the 5,000 creds. And be like, thank you. Let me know any thoughts you have after you've had a chance to look at Carl's systems. And
Sure. It's going to be a bit because I'm going to be trying to crack this code that your friend has brought, because that's
something.
Just, I know from just observing things that you don't really know Cerberus is, but do you suspect that Cerberus may be the ones that, or the person that you're contacting has had connections with that organization?
No. If they do, it would be news to me.
That makes it so that I'm less likely to try and go down that unfortunate rabbit hole. That saves us some time, actually. So I'll be in touch.
How many did you say? You know what? Send me a list of just a number of people working on this, and I'll
send you a bill.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll be on Omega for at least a few more days at minimum for that, so you can reach us if you.
So, where are you guys going now that you have all this information and that your home away from home has interesting individuals on board?
Oh, I thought we were heading to the afterlife.
Oh, are you guys going straight to the club?
Oh yeah,
I guess would have messaged everyone and be like, we got info, we want to go towards Afterlife. Do we want to meet up? Do we want to go back to the ship? Like,
I'm fine with going to Afterlife first because I'm scared of that ship. There's a VI in there that is growing in power. That someone has decided to become a parent to. That's not right.
In the best way, I love it. I'll meet you at the afterlife.
I before we leave, I turn around at as Tazik walks a little bit ahead of me. I'm gonna turn around to I've already forgot their name.
Rala.
Rala, and I'm gonna be like, so if Carl goes crazy, would it be just bad if to shoot him or to just destroy it or?
Invest heavily in electronic grade weaponry. I would say get yourself some disruption rounds. Lots of them.
All right. Thank you. And I'll be like, all right, to Afterlife we go then.
So, the four of you meet up, and this incredibly eclectic group is in line for Afterlife. Look,
can I just make an argument that the doctor can get in the door of Afterlife because of bricks?
What? Prax, I will give you a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You can roll a D100 or I can roll the happy sad die.
I mean, my argument is just I know the supplier of all the booze in your place.
Yeah, and I'm saying you have a chance. It's D100 or the happy sad die.
I'll roll the D100. We'll see what happens.
Go for the happy.
The answer is no. The answer
is
no.
They do not care.
They do not care. Look, I tried. Didn't work. It's all good.
Are we waiting in line then?
Well, actually, can I use my connection to Arsum, who's apparently one of the old school OG, one could say, arms dealers and knows everybody in Omega.
Considering he said queen bitch,
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough.
Look, she might take that as a compliment.
I mean, yeah.
I can roll the happy sad die.
You know what? Do it.
That was the frowniest of faces.
Oh no.
We're gonna
Here's
be
what's
first
going
people
to happen.
thrown off this bar, this restaurant.
No. You mentioned Barsoom. And the two bouncers look at each other. One of them is doing their best to suppress a laugh. And goes, sure, but the other one just immediately goes to the door. Sure, buddy, go right on in. Please mention his name.
You know what? I'm gonna play this as an idiot because that's funny. Oh, thank you. This one is thankful that you recognize that I am a valuable customer of everyone's favorite fence, Barsoom, and goes in.
Would you like to follow him or remain in line?
Can we do an insight check on how likely
Yeah, I
this
was
is going to
gonna say-
result in our death?
Yeah, I would like to insight
sure.
check this. Damn it, it's high.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Nat 20.
wow.
So-
26.
Again, Esley, you have a hard time reading Torians.
Oh, we made
Tazik,
it-
you have
We made it past the Elcor. We're into the Taurians. Oh, this is cool.
yeah. The Tazik, you are just bad at reading people.
Just tracks.
Yep.
Doc,
I mean, considering
You
my
know-
in-laws.
how much physical danger Kryn is in?
Let me talk about my friend Barsoom to everyone in this bar.
And she's kind of crack her neck both ways and then look at Etzley and say, this might go boom. And just and then turn and look at the two Taurians and say, I'm a doctor. That is my patient. I apologize for his unwell status, but please don't make me have to hurt you to go and save his life.
Barsoom is great.
Oh, you won't have to worry about us. You'll just have to worry about the people inside.
That's
Why do you
fair.
have guns up?
And then she'll just walk by them. Like, are you going to be a problem? No. Okay. And then she'll look at Etzley and go, there's going to be a problem. And keeps walking.
Very heavily armed men are approaching me. They must be saying hello.
Okay.
And now I'm
So-
faster.
So, as the rest of you go inside after your favorite floating buddy,
Yep.
who is just being his most charming self, you notice immediately. I'm not going to make you roll for this. That there is a number of Vorcha who are in the club who are getting irritated quickly, and look like they're conferring with one another. You're not entirely certain if they're going to eat your friend or they're just going to beat your friend.
And Kryn, not noticing this, is in the middle of the dance floor, tentacles up, going like ho 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 ho, floating by.
So, I see the time. I know your sheets. I know theirs. Um, if you would like to stop what is about to happen, any one of you can give me an intimidate or a persuasion test, with the exception of Kryn.
With Kryn standing right, going like, hey, hey, his tentacles doing like sort of like a Vogue motion around his body.
Okay, so we said intimidate or
Persuasion.
Float by.
I'm gonna use fake it till I make it to get advantage on this roll.
Okay.
The doctor is moving at speed into this space.
Okay.
Christ almighty.
Oh Jesus.
And
It's a 10. Um
Oh no.
which would be funnier, intimidation or persuasion?
for Toxic Intimidation, that would amuse me.
Okay, that's what we're gonna roll.
Okay. Okay.
I should warn you, this is one of my worst stats.
I'm
Oh,
sure
I know.
it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But it was not fine.
13.
It was
Um,
not fine.
So I can already see like the good human and the bad.
I would like to raise a glass to my friend Barsoom, who's one of the best people
like,
in the.
you see the Vorcha, you understand what's happening. You were trying to present the friendly face that's going like, hey, we'll talk with him, and then Tassic's best scowl.
I feel like I'm gonna hold up my Omni tool and because I'm engineer, like do something so it starts sparking and it's like, we'll deal with this.
Instead, it looks like you're going to detonate your hand as a party trick to these Vorcha.
No. I'm trying to say I'm gonna go like basically take a taser to him and deal with him.
That is what you're saying. I'm saying how the Vorcha are interpreting the gesture.
I guess. Am I intimidating? I'm a Solarian.
Like, no, it's more along the lines of they interpret it. Is that Solarian going to blow off their own hand for our amusement? They're very confused.
so I think the doctor is gonna come up behind because again, speed, and just have the sword subtly, not fully drawn, but just kind of pulled, and at the same time pulls a flashlight and starts flashing at Kryn. Because it's just like, be quiet. Just be quiet. Just 30 seconds, please. Your friend is not popular. As she's like tapping this with the blade, she goes, are we going to be a problem or not? Is what she says to the Vorcha.
I would say the doctor wouldn't know how to communicate with Kryn. And would I be able to see that, Pope?
Yeah.
You can interpret the light pulses and know what that means. The quickest that you could instinctively do is just like go quiet, and then just if the doc is looking at you, you can use again the Hanar light language to communicate whatever you want.
Okay. As soon as I see that, I go like, oh, I misread the situation. I'm just gonna float slowly to the bar. Can't believe this didn't happen.
It's like let's delay if you're quiet, we can stop. And then she's got a sword to the back of the Vorcha and be like, are we gonna have a problem?
We do not like you and your jellyfish. Barsoom cheated us out of a large payday.
One, I would have been willing to negotiate, but you decided to use that type of language. And that's very insulting and quite rude. I don't go around calling you lizard cockroaches now, do I? Also, you might want to get a breath mint. And look, see a dentist. That looks like it's infected.
So a fight breaks out. And as the fight breaks out, first it's more along the lines of just the regulars. They're used to this. This happens. They clear. The Vorcha are on you quickly. And I'm just gonna roll the happy side die. I've got
I just-
news. You're going to say, Tazik?
I was gonna say, if we are going to fisticuffs with these Vorcha, Tazak would absolutely be asking them questions about the best like snacks to give Baron, because has not interacted with Buttercup much.
Vorcha are a terrible snack.
Well, no, I want them to tell me, like, okay, you have Baron, right? Like, what kind of things do you feed? Like, try in the middle of a fight, what do you feed your Baron as like snacks, like treats?
Every single time you do this, all of a sudden, like, I'm going to say, one of their heads explodes. Whether it or is decapitated, whether it is the doctor decapitating them with a monoblade, Kryn blowing them up with his mind, or Etzli using whatever Etzli has on her person to put the largest of holes where the face would be. And then as all the Vorcha are now ceased to be Nartorian, much different face colorings, in it, definitely dressed as security, comes up and goes, okay, if you can pay the creds for the cleanup, you can stay. If not, get the fuck out.
This one asks, how much is the creds?
Considering the smell of these assholes, that's pretty high. And considering there was 5 of them, that's 10,000 creds.
I think the doctor just kind of like finishes swiping the blade on one of their on like a napkin she's picked up because she doesn't want to wipe it on them. He goes, "I'll take it from my cut." And she'll send from her cut that she left on the ship 15 and be like, "I apologize for this. Here, hopefully you can sanitize everything. I'm quite aware that Vorcha blood can carry
It's
various...
corrosive.
Well, yes, it also can carry a variety of diseases and infections.
We've got a cleaning crew. Thanks. Just try and not piss anybody else off.
This one apologizes. This is not aware that saying certain names will make Vorcha very angry.
Vorcha get pissed off easily at the best of times. Just mind your P's and Q's.
This one thanks you for your service. And also, sorry for the smell. And then goes back to the middle of the dance floor. Ho, ha, ho, ha, ho, ha, ho.
A team of young Krogan in full, like, biohazard gear come by and just bag and start cleaning the location. Like, these are teenage Krogan that are doing this job.
Someone's got to do it. Why not the young? Got to teach them.
Are any of you trying to go up to the suite and get an audience with Arya?
I'm dancing. I'm not sure what the rest of you are doing.
Bryn is you are having the time of
I
your
am
life.
having the time of my life. I'm not mentioning Barsuma anymore, but I'm just dancing.
There are, you have plenty of dance partners. The floor is yours.
Yeah.
What do we need from? What information do we need from Arya?
If you wanted any info on Cerberus.
Right. And then Hank is just nearby.
Yeah.
Like in the area near Afterlife, so not physically in the bar. Or club, sorry. Okay, well, Tazik's the one who got this info, so Tazik would be like, go to the bar, get a drink, and then walk over, assumingly, to the additional guards. Because we're not just gonna walk up there. And be like, what does it take to get some info about Cerberus?
the Batarian just gives you like the most quizzical of looks. You want an audience with Arya.
Yes.
I guess that's what you're trying to.
Well, I was going to the end, like the end thing I was looking for, but yes, is Arya seeing people without appointments right now?
Not really. Like, do you?
Can I name drop? Can I name drop my company and see if that will be enough to get in with Arya?
If you, okay, like,
Can I go to the Turian and not the Batarian?
yeah, like if you've played the game, you know the setup. Like, there's two different sets of stairs. They are flanked by two sets of guards. There's like two Batarians on one side, two Turians on the other. You go to the Turian side, you name drop.
Yeah. I'm
You looking to do business?
Yeah, I'm interested. If Arya's interested.
Give me a sec. And we cut to that particular suite. And we see the very cutting figure of Arya T'Loak looking down at her Omni tool. And then we just get that incredibly like tight focus just on the lower part of her face as she gives that very distinctive smirk. And that's where we're going to end for the night. So, I have been Pope World Build all over the internet, your humble storyteller this evening. Thank you all so much. If you want to see more of my silly face, just look on either the Bird app or the Blue Sky app, and you will see postings for where I am next. Thank you all so much for being here, where lives, VOD, YouTube Store is nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. Let's go around the horn, find out where you can find the rest of these absolutely wonderful individuals and what they're up to. And till next time, I'll see you soon. So let's start with Jesus. How you doing, friend?
Hey guys, I hope you enjoy me playing as a Kryn voguing out in the middle of the dance floor. But if you want to find me, you can find me most places as Arvandus, Arvandus. I have a podcast I've done with my friends for at least 14 years. I'm old. Where we played a variety of different role-playing games called Fanable, or find us on the website fanable.com. I also have a YouTube channel called Arvandus, where we just go over the lore of various war games, because I'm such a huge nerd. Where you can find me and just watch vids and hopefully enjoy the sound of my voice.
Someone whose voice is also incredibly distinctive would be our favorite Solarian engineer, Tazik, played by Lady Luck. How are you doing, friend, and where can we find you?
Hi. I'm just imagining that somehow in between everything else Kryn was watching, Kryn also managed to find, like, centuries ago Earth MTV, when it was actually like music videos, and that's where the voguing came from.
Oh, no. I am certain that he actually accidentally clicked on one of Norbert's suggestions and just got all of Madonna's catalog.
Oh, no. I am voguing left and right. Madonna is like, this one wonders if this Madonna was part of this soap operas that I've been part of. She has that energy.
I know what's going to be at his console when he gets back. I feel bad for all of you as Kryn discovers Dick Tracy. But Lady Luck, what do you do? Where can you find you?
Yeah, I'm Lady Luck around the internet on all of the things, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky. You can find me on all of that. I stream a couple times a week, either playing games or doing crafty things. I'm also, because this is now actually out in the world, going to be at PAX East in a couple of weeks and on a few panels talking largely about being content creators. So I will at some point remember to post those with some fabulous other people around the internets. And then obviously back here on Sunday evenings with all of you all, where I make things worse, but then maybe I've made them better. I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll find out.
Somebody who makes everything better is PB. How you doing, friend, and where can we find you?
Hi, I'm PB from PB Plays Inside, in which you can find me over on Twitch and Twitter and Blue Sky. I am in the middle of a Mass Effect playthrough, and I am looking forward to getting into 3 and finishing all of that up. It'll be a ton of fun, and I am looking forward to seeing what else comes of this wild, wild game of VIAIs and almost getting in fights with Vorcha.
Fights with Vorcha seems to be a pastime of this crew. But someone who has the most interesting fights is Prax. Hey, friend, how you doing, and what are you up to?
I am doing well. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Thanks to the fabulous players. Thank you, Pope, for running this game. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax, at Dirjadonlan on Twitter, or Praxagorth as Meaphoria. You see me around here on Twitch. Prax the Bard over on Instagram, Hive, and Blue Sky. Need to get better at those. But first of all, I have a couple roundup things to say. Love tonight. Love the fun. Love the bonding between Etzli and Tazik. Love the fact, like any good Mass Effect game, we just murdered a bunch of Vorcha and nobody cares beyond the smell. Because Vorcha. And I can't wait to see what happens with a lot of the things that are going on in this game. I'm sure all of it will be fine. But if you want to support us, I have a Ko-Fi. That goes to running the channel, buying all of the gear, paying all of the important things so that we can keep everything up and running. There is also a merch store. I want you to know, I did not forget from last week. I am currently in the design stages. It will be up by next week. There will be a Carl Made Friends merch, because Carl made friends. And I feel like this is even better now that we know that certain people are Cerberus and therefore are evil. But you can find me next, probably tomorrow night, maybe, question mark, with Pope over on Wandering DM for some Montreal by Night, where we are all underground. We've had some fun and, you know, bonded with a canine. Let me phrase that. Bonded over a canine. That's a more accurate statement. Then you, probably not Saturday, because I unfortunately have some things to do, but you can check the VODs. By the way, there's a YouTube. If you don't know about that, you can always check the VODs. They go up almost the day after. And you can check and follow along and see if anything you've missed. We'll probably not be having book club on Saturday because I have some things to do, but maybe we'll see what happens. I might try and stream sometime else this week. But again, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for all of the fun times. Thank you, Hawkeye, for the wonderful ad read in the middle, because appreciate that. Also, thank you, Hawkeye's daughter, Bonnie, because you're playing a fabulous Commander Shepard. We appreciate you. And we're going to see if there's anybody up to raid tonight. Oh, High Shelf Collective is. Good. We'll go raid them, send them some love and some joy. They're on their beach, which is always hilarious. And until next time, everybody.